Welcome on into another episode of the Healthy Discussions Show. In today's topic, we're talking about Jonathon Major. Jonathon Major just took a major loss going across the railroad track, and hypothetically, allegedly, supposedly, he abused the woman that he was with. Something's not making sense here, but watch this. Let him tell it.
I'm sitting here right now and looking at you and understanding the gravity of the situation. A situation that I, in many ways, put myself in.
The actor spoke exclusively with ABC News for the first time after being convicted in late December for harassment and misdemeanor reckless assault in the third degree, which could carry a penalty of up to a year behind bars.
Why did you decide you wanted to talk now?
I felt like it was time. A lot has happened in my personal life, in my career, in the culture. It's about responsibility and coming forward and being brave and giving my part of the story.
Your reaction to that verdict?
Shock. I was absolutely shocked, and afraid. And I'm standing there, and
If you were shocked based on when you heard this announcement, smash that like button. If you were shocked, subscribe to the channel. If you were shocked, tell a friend to tell a friend. But let's continue to watch.
verdict comes down. I say, how is that possible? Based off the evidence, based off the prosecution's evidence, let alone our evidence. How is that possible?
But after only hours of deliberation, a jury of his peers agreed with prosecutors that he did physically injure his then girlfriend Grace Jabari in an incident last March.
What happened exactly, do you know?
Yeah, I don't know. She went conscious.
That 911 call from Majors came hours after an argument broke out with Jabari in the back seat of an SUV when Majors received a text from another woman.
But this is what I don't understand. The man called, she's unconscious. That looks like you did something, but who's to say you did anything or not? We wasn't in the room with it. Were you there? Yes, you, on the opposite side of the screen. Were you there? Was I there? No, I was not. So how do you know what happened inside that room? Based on the conversation, right? Let's speculate for a second. Based on the conversation that I just heard, they say she's unconscious. So that would insinuate maybe he did have something to do with it. But what if the caveat is this? He had nothing to do with it. He walked in and she's just unconscious on the floor. Now, people stage things all day long. I'm not saying that she did. Hypothetically, allegedly, supposedly. Who's to know? But there's something sketchy going on here. And I just want to get to the truth. Can we talk about it? I just want to talk about it. Let's continue to watch. Exclusive interview.
And saying, "Oh, how I wish to be kissing you." Jabari testified that when she grabbed the phone, Majors tried to get it back, fracturing her finger and giving her a cut behind her ear.
Oh.
She says inside the car.
Pause.
You hit.
The thing is this. What the hell is she doing checking this man's phone anyway? What are you doing checking his phone? If you looking for something, you're going to find something. Because you're looking for something. If you're not looking for nothing, you're not going to find anything. Someone texting him. Obviously, he's a movie star. Obviously, y'all are dating. Who's to know if it's serious dating or not? If it's just a couple of situations, who's to know? What did he tell you? Did he tell you that you was his girl and his one and only? Did he ever give you that vibe? See, it's a lot of unanswered questions that we must ask Jonathon Major himself. Just so we can, better yet, just have an understanding, right? Or understanding to what's really going on. Because this is mind-boggling to me. I can't wrap my head around it. Something is missing. In this situation, something is missing. If you agree that something is missing, leave your thoughts down below. Smash that like button. That's just if you agree. If you don't agree, leave your comment down below. Let me know why you don't agree. I want to know what you think. Can we talk about it?
Her in the face,
Yeah.
twist her arm behind her back, fractured her middle finger.
That did not happen.
How did those injuries come about?
I wish to God I knew. That would give clarity. That would give me some type of peace about it.
My God, my fathers, I wish to God I knew too. Because that's the missing part right there. He's letting you know this lady said that she was bruised with her hands. He put her hand behind her back, twisted. It sounded like somebody tried to disarm this lady. Was it Jonathon Major or was it somebody minor? Because I begin to think, did he bust a move on her like that? He trying to disarm the lady? Or did somebody hire someone to come in between that and let's just play the frame game? I mean, because look at it. He was about to make history. And before he was about to make history, they snatched that rug right underneath his feet. Before he was about to make history. He's going down his history as playing damn near all the roles in Marvels. Was going to be one of the richest actors getting paid from Disney and the Marvel and everything else. Now, like Cat Williams said, last week he was hot. Next week he's not. Don't put yourself in those situations. So let this be a lesson. Let this be a learning curve. Because we have to find out the lesson within this scenario. And the lesson is, if you are the asset, protect yourself at all costs, at all times. Don't leave no windows open for no one to co-create, to change the narrative of the story. You got to play it tight. You have to play it tight. That's all that it's showing me. See, money gets you there, right? But character keeps you in the room. And according to what they've discovered, his character didn't keep him in the room. This is hypothetically, allegedly, supposedly, right? His character didn't keep him in the room. Who's to say that was his character? Can we talk about it? I just want to talk about it, but let's continue.
But you're confident you didn't
I have
cause
no question.
Surveillance video shows Majors getting out of the car, followed by Jabari, whom he then puts back inside the vehicle. What happens next is what the defense remains focused on. Majors runs off, and Jabari chases after him.
If you watch those videos and you reverse that, and you saw a black man chasing a young white girl down the street, screaming and crying, that man is going to be shot and killed.
Majors' defense team shared the
That part. See, that's the part that I didn't understand either, right? If a man did something, why are you running? You running away. You're running away. If somebody did some harm to you, right? Wouldn't you try to deflect or run away from the person? You don't run closer towards the person, would you? So if he attacked her, what was she doing chasing his tail? Who attacked who? Can we talk about it? Like I said, something ain't right about this one. Hypothetically, allegedly, supposedly, right? Let's just speculate. Something isn't right about this verdict. Because he don't even know. He just said, hey, they say that I did this. I didn't do it. So if you didn't do it, and she's chasing after you, then who did it? Was there a third party? I begin to think, was there a third party? Did the cameras get every angle? Or was it a missing angle? We may have found something major with this one. We may have found something major with this one. Let's continue.
These photos, which he says show the injuries he received that night, which were deemed inadmissible in court.
How were you injured?
My injuries
Inadmissible.
were, I had a scratch on my hand, from clawing for the phone. And I had a gash on at the time I had a beard. Under my beard, I had essentially a fingernail scratch on my cheek from pressure. And that bled overnight.
But prosecutors say Majors was the aggressor. District Attorney Alvin Bragg says the evidence presented throughout this trial illustrated a cycle of psychological and emotional abuse. In court, prosecutors pointed to a previous argument during which he knocked a candle to the floor.
I completely lost my temper in that moment and threw it all on the ground. That's not something I would want my child to do, and I did that. I absolutely did that. And felt terrible about it.
The prosecution also played audio Jabari had recorded earlier in the relationship where Majors encouraged her to act more like Coretta Scott King and Michelle
But
Obama.
and this is the part. This is the part. This is the part. This is the part. This is the part, right? This is the part where I think he went wrong at. You are a great man, we understand that, right? But you're telling her your great plans, right? And your great plans, right? You're acting like, now we all know racism doesn't really exist depending on what type of level you're at, right, in your life, right? The higher you go up, the more that you find out that it does exist. But that's not what separates us. What separates people is the amount of money that you have. That depicts if you can walk in and out that door. After you get the money now, what separates the people that has the money is the power. What can you do? What pulls do you have? What moves can you make, right? That's when I think racism begins to get louder and louder and louder. See, when it comes time for money, they let you get all the money that you want, right? But when it comes time for power, I don't see that happening. You gotta fight for that power. You gotta take that power. It's no way your competition is just gonna give you power. The same power that can ounce them. It's no way. They're gonna try to give you everything else but that. So you can have the money. You can have the money. Make as much money as you possibly can. But when it comes time for power, when you move in armies, when you telling a million people, hey, go do this, hey, go do that, we got you. That part right there, you gotta pay attention to. So he's pillow talking, letting her know, hey, I'm a powerful person. I plan on being a powerful person. His intent was powerful. You have to act accordingly. You have to be the certain way, X, Y, Z. Now, what are you doing telling a snow bunny that she has to act like she's black? What are you doing telling her that? That will never happen in a million years. That won't happen. So I don't know, did Jonathon Major, did he just go across the railroad and got lost across the railroad? Did you get comfortable in Hollywood? Did you forget? Are you so forgetful? Well, I'm here to remind you, these things exist. Now, classism is what runs the world, but when it comes time for power, then you know what's up. Can we talk about it? I just want to talk about it. Let's continue.
I am doing great things, not just for me, but for my culture and for the world. That is actually the position I'm in. The woman that supports me needs to be a great woman.
There
Yeah.
are some who
He told her. He
question,
let her though.
especially in the black community, as you're probably well aware, that people were saying, well, why was he telling this woman to be like Coretta Scott King and
That
Michelle
part.
Obama?
It was me trying to give an analogy of what it is I'm aspiring to be. These great men, Martin, President Obama, and trying to give a reference point to that. One of the things I also say is I need her, and it's grace to make the same sacrifices that I am making.
In a statement to ABC News, an attorney for Jabari said in part, it is not at all...
I think that's where you went wrong at. She would never make the sacrifices that you're willing to make. She's on the opposite side of the table, first of all. Okay, how you look at it. You can look at the glass half empty or half full. She's on the opposite side of the table. Right? I don't think she can relate. So your analogy, she cannot relate to it. You should have gave her another analogy. But that analogy, she can't relate to that. She just can't. Leave your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think.
Surprising that Mr. Majors continues to take no accountability for his actions, adding, the timing of these new statements demonstrates a clear lack of remorse for his actions.
What?
Do you feel you're not responsible for her injuries at all?
I shouldn't have been in the car. I shouldn't have stepped out of the relationship. I shouldn't have been in the relationship. If I'm not in the car, none of this is happening. If I leave the relationship, none of this is happening. If I'm man enough or brave enough to say, I want to see somebody else, or I'm done now, I'm not in that car.
So y'all heard him. If he wasn't in that car, it wouldn't have happened. If he wasn't in that relationship, it wouldn't have happened. So my thing begins to say, well, was this self-inflicting wound or did somebody else inflict this? And if so, are you just taking the blame for this? Because something is missing here. Something big is missing here. Can we talk about it? I just want to talk about it. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Smash that like button. Leave your thoughts down below because I really want to know. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. On that note, peace, blessings, and love. Welcome on into another episode of the Healthy Discussion Show.